Hey, I'm Zach,
I'm Jen.
and this is our farm, Middle Mountain Farmstead.
I think you have enough pretzels in there, bud.
So we started our farm in 2021. We kind of just wanted to move to the country to do some, just to have more hunting access and just kind of get away from town. But then we decided we had the space, so we might as well try raising a few things for ourselves. We started with chicken and pigs. This boy's loving his pretzels this morning. Oh, thank you.
And then it was always my dream to have a dairy goat. I thought it'd be so cool to walk out of my house and milk my goat in the morning for milk. So about a year and a half ago, we started with dairy goats also. So we're doing chicken, pigs, dairy goats. Started with mostly just for us, small scale, and then really loved doing it. So we have progressed to going to farmers markets.
So we started really small last year. I think we just did 200 chickens, and we did an additional 50 for us. Then we raised 3 or 4 pigs, and the dairy, we started with a really small herd share. We had 2 people we were supplying milk to. But it's sort of taken on a life of its own. We've had a lot of support from the community, a lot of good people down in White Sulphur Springs and Ronsford have really, really helped us out. And so this year we've doubled and tripled a lot of those numbers with pigs and chickens. And now we have 15 plus people on our herd share instead of 2. And kind of the same situation, pigs, from 5 to 20 this year. So it almost feels like the path's been set for us, and we're just kind of
And it's something that the
following it at this
community
point.
needs. Like, there isn't enough local meat that's being produced and local dairy that's available for people to buy. So we're happy to share what we're doing.
So something we think is really important and that we practice with all of our animals is rotational grazing. So our goats get new pasture every 2 to 3 days. Our chickens get moved to new grass every day. And then for the last few weeks of their life, they actually get moved twice a day because they're consuming quite a bit of grass at that point. Same goes for our pigs. They're rotated to new pasture in the woods, really, rotated to a new chunk of the woods every week or month or so, depending on how much they're consuming. But we find that's really important, one, for the land. The chickens, especially, and goats do such a good job of their manure is just pure fertilizer. So things just grow back so much better that way, and we're spreading it out instead of loading it down in one location. And then the pigs do a really good job of kind of stirring things up in the woods, and so we get a lot of new growth. They really like some of the invasives, and then we get new growth of grass in areas that they've cleared out. But also nutritionally for the animals, you'd be surprised how much grass a chicken will eat when they're put on fresh grass every day. So we've noticed a huge difference just in the taste alone, but I'm sure science would find a huge difference in nutritional value as well on chicken and pork. Differences in vitamin D levels and the quality of the fats. when raised on pasture and woods rotations instead of just in a feedlot raised purely on corn and soy. So we think that's a pretty important thing to do for our farm, but also for our customers, providing as nutritionally balanced or as nutritionally rich of a product as we can. So we're raising Kune pigs. No, we're not. We're raising Idaho pasture pigs. They're a cross between Kunis, Durocs, and Berkshires. So I'm no expert on the breed just yet. This is our first round of IPPs, but we like them for a few reasons. One, they're incredibly calm and kind compared to some other pigs we've raised. So you can see we're hanging out with them right now, and they're not nibbling on our feet or anything.
And they haven't eaten yet today.
Yeah, they have not eaten yet today. So this is pretty unusual for pigs we've had in the past. But also the Kune that's mixed in there makes them exceptional foragers. So you can see this side, they've been over here for about 6 weeks, and they're going across our trail here where all that green is. So they spent the winter across the trail, and you can see how lush it's grown back. That's a big reason we rotate, is because it does give the land an opportunity to recover and grow back even more lush with all the new manure, but it also gives them constant new feed sources. So we really love the IPPs for their forage.
And their meat is delicious.
The meat really is delicious. It's a darker meat. It almost looks like lamb, not quite beef red, but it's pretty dark and really rich. And they pack on a lot of fat too, which is nice because we like to use the lard for different things.
Mm-hmm. And like we talked about before, their fat is very high in vitamin D because they're in the sun all the time, versus the pigs that are raised in buildings that don't see the sun. Mm-hmm. So the lard has vitamin D almost as much as cod liver oil, which is one of the nutritional sources of vitamin D that you can consume. So I would much rather eat the fat on my pork chop than drink cod liver oil.
Yeah. We also love raising them in the woods because it gives them shade all day. We've tried rotating them through pasture, but in the summer it's really just it hasn't worked for us.
And with our property, we don't really have the type of pasture that we would be able to have them out on pasture all year.
But the sun really gets to them. They get really hot, and they need wallows, and I don't want them wallowing in what little pasture I do have for my goats. So you can see over here, they've made themselves some wallows, and in the hills here, there are tiny little seeps and springs everywhere they can get into. So it's really awesome. They can get in their wallows, they can find shade to cool off, and they have a pretty steady source of forage throughout the day.
So at our farmers markets, we bring a wide variety of things. So I bake sourdough bread in a sandwich loaf so that it doesn't kill the top of your mouth. And we also have our chicken and pork that we bring along. And then with our goat's milk, we make soap, sugar scrub, and lotion that are all non-toxic. We don't really add any chemicals. No, we don't add chemicals, and we use essential oils, so it's all naturally fragranced instead of using like the hormone disruptors that you might find in other products. Right now we're regularly doing the White Sulphur Springs market, also the Marlinton market up in Pocahontas County, and sort of working on growing the awareness of the importance of pasture-raised food, like Zach was talking about before, and how it's more nutritionally dense for people to be consuming, maybe a little bit more expensive, but worth it in the long run to fuel your body with something that's really going to benefit you.